into EBA Tonight. It is live and on the air on Twitch. Welcome everybody. It's your boy Ice the Man. Also with me as always, back again after missing last week, is the one, the only, the commish, Texas James Smith.
Yeah, man, I'm back, but you need to add that /owner, commish/owner.
Yes! Well, we'll get into that.
Gotta add that slash, bro. You gotta add the slash.
Okay, well, we'll get into that. Like a true commish would do, with some drama that's happening this week, stepped up and took over a team, which is huge, but I also can't forget about my other guest, Mr. Number One himself, Mr. Kicking Ass and Taking Names, Z, actually on the show tonight. Welcome, Z. Are you there?
Glad to be on the show.
Oh, great. Glad to have you. Thank you for showing up tonight. Thank you for taking the time. We'll try to speed through this. I know you're a busy man. I mean, you got lines to put together. You got a whole week to do it, but you got some celebration to do this week. Everybody keeps asking me, what's with the creepy music, Ice? Well, unfortunately, we have to send a few teams to rest in peace, and that means some poor teams are going to go bye-bye. This is the end of the week. This is it. Now we're going to talk playoffs and so forth, but let's talk a little bit about where your team ranks in the EBA. This is the end of the season rankings, week 4. We'll talk playoffs. We'll also get into a couple what's going on around the league, which I think is important because a lot of people are asking what the hell is going on week 4. Don't worry, guys. We're going to explain it all. This is your place to get it all. Let's jump right into it with EBA Power Rankings for this last Final Four week here. Stepping into the final week, this is how it kind of lays out. You have the Cavs at number 1. Congratulations, you actually on the Cavs taking it for the season. The number 1's holding it for the last, I think, 3 to 4 weeks. We actually had you at number 2. And you're up 1 spot. In the preseason rankings, we have you at number 2. You're up 1 spot and kind of dominated most of the season. Trailblazers almost caught you by a game there at the end, which shout out to the Trailblazers. But, I mean, congratulations, Z, actually, on taking the number 1 spot of the power rankings and holding on to it, I think, since week 1.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate it. Hard work during the season paid off.
Yeah, what do you think? I know you made some key trades and some key movement throughout the season. What do you think is probably the biggest look back moment on the season? Going, this is what got us to where we're at type of moment. I mean, was it the initial building of the team and who you want in the draft, or was it some trades or moves? What do you think, or what do you feel? I guess
it was a little bit of everything from the bidding. I knew I wanted to go in and show that you can get whoever you want to get, even though attitudes sometimes play a part, but you get the right formula that works out in the end. And then comes to trades, I added a couple pieces, wanted to go after, and getting exclusive on the team was a key part of this season.
Yeah, I think you made some strong moves this team. I mean, you did have Cleveland, so you finished with the best record, but still, there's some very competitive teams out there. If you're looking back over a season, would you say, Texas, that this is probably one of the better seasons from a rookie owner, other than Miz had a great season, but one of the better seasons from a rookie owner?
Yeah, I definitely have to agree, man. I mean, he came in strong. He didn't hesitate in bidding, spending his money right. Got key pieces to play key roles on the Cavs, which is not as easy as you would think it is. So yeah, I would have to agree with that. I think he goes up there right next to Miz for sure.
Yeah, I mean, he is definitely in the running for owner of the year for me anyway. Him and this next guy, which is number 2, is Portland. Now, Portland was clipping at your heels, and Portland is my biggest surprise for the season. Looking back, Texas and I was looking at them and had them at number 9. They are up at the end of the season 7 spots. The biggest oversight that I have ever had at my EBA or VBA or wherever you want to go when setting and looking at a team and looking over a roster. I have been the wrongest, I guess is a word, wrongest on this team, moving as fast as it is. Was Portland a surprise to you, Z, actually? I mean, they only came with like 1 game of dethroning you, 1 or 2 games of dethroning you from that top seed there at the end. It was close. Were they a surprise to you? Did you think Portland was going to be as strong as they were, throughout the season as you've seen them in the preseason?
I personally thought that they weren't going to be awful. I thought they were going to be a middle of the pack team, knowing that some of the guys are from other leagues that are pretty good. Did not think they were going to be this good, but I think that's due to some of the teams not being as good as they are in previous seasons.
Yeah, like I said, they completely surprised me, and I know they surprised you as well, Kamish, Texas, because we had them way down in
Slash
like
owner.
the slash owner, way down in number 9th there, Trailblazers, and they jumped all the way up to number 10, arguably fighting for that number 1 spot. So I know they surprised you. So, I mean, do you have anything really to say about Portland? Again, argument for owner of the year there with a rookie owner in Portland.
I agree, and they definitely came out, man. The thing with Rush, man, he meant business. He it's kind of shady in my book, but he didn't hesitate to take a forfeit when all guys were on, and they were just getting the fucking, could not sink into lobby shit. He would take forfeits on a lot of people like that, but I mean, he meant business, and that team should have been on earlier. They should have been there. They should have got their stuff ready. That's completely on them. But I mean, the guys are trying to play, and I feel like he dipped some people by doing that. But overall, I mean, he finished number 2, so he's doing something right over there.
Well, in his defense, and also I'm kind of on the fence, of course, on this subject, but in his defense, I mean, why should I have me and my 5 guys right around for more than 20 minutes for you when you can't get your
No, you're
5,
right.
your 5 guys on and ready?
You're
Because my
100%
5
right,
guys are here on and ready.
that's
Why
what.
isn't yours? So yes, he take the forfeits, but in the rule book it says he can. So like I said, on the
No,
fence one way or the
absolutely,
other.
absolutely. I mean, nobody ever told him that he couldn't. It's just, it just kind of sucks because the guys were there ready to play a bunch of times, and then like he would just, if he had just waited like 2 or 3 minutes, it'd have been good. Which is on them for not being ready, and it's his right to take the forfeit. But I feel like he ducked a couple of teams by trying to do that.
Well,
But overall, he has a great team, and he deserves to be up there. He's had a wonderful season, so hats off to him, and he's done a great job.
Well, congratulations to Portland and its Rush and that whole crew for definitely proving us wrong here at EBA tonight and jumping up 7 spots to that number 2 spot there. This next team, the Pelicans here, finished strong the last couple weeks. They ended up pulling up into the 3rd. They're up 1 spot from last week, but overall they're down 2 spots from where we originally had them. Looking at the Pelicans, Texas, it was kind of a surprise to see them dip and then kind of come back and get strong here at the end. I mean, what are your thoughts on the Pelicans?
I think you kind of hit this on the head early on. We were talking about it. You might even said it on the show. I'm not sure, but I remember we talking about it, and you said, this is going to be a team. I feel like they're not going to be at the top at first because they're going to have some shit to work out, and then they're going to come back and get strong when they get everything together. And you hit that shit right on the head because early on they had some confrontations and some conflicts with the roster and all that stuff. Move pieces around, and I think if they would have done it a week sooner, they'd be sitting at the number 1 spot right now.
I mean, they dropped all the way down to the 6th spot in the 2nd week and came all the way back to the 3rd spot. And by far, looking at their roster, I think is one of the strongest teams. I know you're really focused on the East, which we'll talk about, on the West right now as being in the Cavs. But the Pelicans coming out of the East is a very strong possibility. Are you looking at this roster and going, okay, this is going to be competitive, Z, actually?
Well, of course it's going to be competitive. The team overall they're all great players over there in Pelicans, and they've figured out how to use the Pelicans by the time of the end of the season when you need to figure it out.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. They finally figured out and moved some key pieces around. Moving on to the next number 4, the New York Knicks. Now we'll talk a little bit more about them next and how we're setting, but we're just talking power rankings and how they ended the season based on where we initially had them. The New York Knicks are down 1 spot from last week's power ranking. However, they are exactly where we had them in preseason here at this 4th spot. I don't want to get a whole lot into the drama with the Knicks. We'll talk about that when we send them down, rest them in peace. But looking at the Knicks team itself overall, how they played throughout the season and where they ended up, it's a sad situation now, of course. But I'm going to go right back to you, Tex. I mean, looking at the Knicks at that 4th spot, but realistically, they're not even a team at this point. But like I said, we'll talk about that in a minute. But what are your thoughts on the Knicks?
I'm really disappointed how this ended up. I know we're gonna talk about it later, so I'm not gonna go too much into it. But how I'm really disappointed in Miz. But overall, with I think if they would have kept playing, they could have easily been in competition for the 3 or the 2 spot. But you know, there's a situation happening there that we'll get to later. And but overall, I mean, they Miz put together another great team, and a really great defensive team. Played them a couple times this season, and they are a havoc on the defensive side of the ball. Unfortunately, things happened the way it did. Now, I still have no clue why or the situation, but they happened the way they did, and you know they could have been higher on the list.
Yeah, I mean, by far, I've said it most of the season. They were my second favorite team in that Eastern Conference over there. Looking at the Knicks and playing them a few times that you did this season, I mean, what are your thoughts on the Knicks, Z, actually?
Yeah, when we actually got to play them, they were a pretty good team. As far as how their season went, I mean, should have been a little bit better, but not. Don't want to get too into the situation, but
Yeah. Well, seeing how the Pelicans slipped up throughout the season, I had them in locked for that first seed. And then, of course, with the situation that they had personally in the house as well, now they're setting at the end of the season, they're setting at that fourth spot on the power rankings. But realistically, and we'll talk about that a little bit next, they're not even on the board. Number 5 is the Jazz, which is my team. And I'm really disappointed in my team, and I'm going to be a little critical as a media person. I'm taking off my jersey, and I'm being strictly media at the moment. The fact that they forfeited every game last week was really disappointing as a player and as a member of this team. Um, 8 games in the final week and still were able to make the playoffs, which we'll talk a little bit about. But to even be considered this high in the power rankings just shows how bad the teams were underneath this, I guess. But we initially had Jazz up 2 more spots. They actually fell 2 spots from the original preseason rankings. The Jazz team, see, actually, do you have anything to say on the Jazz?
just a disappointment. I mean, they should have been up there and they should have been playing. I mean, there's a lot of issues within the Jazz, obviously, over the season. Um, that's as far as it goes with me. I mean, just a
Yeah.
havoc over there.
Yeah, and I know with losing an owner, Beastie stepping up, which congrats to Beastie stepping up, but still to, like I said, end the week, the last week of the season with being able to not play 1 game is extremely frustrating as a player and extremely frustrating as a person that looks over the media and looks over the stats, and it's extremely frustrating. I mean, Texas, what are your thoughts about the Jazz?
I mean, it's something that becomes like it's like a roller coaster ride. It's up down for me because when BC took over, man, he stepped in and he started getting wins ASAP, and you know, so the roller coaster's at a high, and then it really kind of it's kind of like a dick punch. It's like, why the fuck are y'all just not playing this last week when you by far got a good roster, you got a good team, you got guys that want to play. I didn't understand it at all. I heard that y'all were gonna show up in the playoffs. So we'll see what
That's what the
happens
team's
there.
saying. I don't know. That's what I'm
That's
hearing,
yeah,
and I
that's
know that there's something that on the team. There's a few players that feel very frustrated that they haven't won an EBA championship yet and are going hard to win that. But and I know some things are going on in other places, the MBPA, whatever the hell that is. They've got a couple other leagues and stuff, and I know these guys play in multiple leagues, but it was still extremely frustrating as a player. Out of 10 guys, we couldn't get 5 to show up for 4 games. Was extremely frustrating. I was on every night ready to play because I didn't know if they were going to need me or not. So I was on 9 o'clock every single night this week, ready to play my games. It was frustrating as a player. Moving on to the Rockets, are number 6 here. The Rockets, with Lewis stepping down, G stepping in, making a little bit of moves here and there, which I think made them stronger. Ending up at number 6, which is a 1 step above where we had them. So we were just about right with most of these teams, but 1 step above where we had them in the preseason. Looking at the Rockets, Texas, did you feel that did they meet your expectations? I guess.
yeah. I mean, I feel like they're a good team. I feel like they got some good players. You know, I feel like some of the players might be out of role characters, like Ramos, in the paint with Capella. I feel like it might not be as offensive strong for Ramos as what he could possibly do if he had somebody like a Gortat or Gobert or Cousins. But he's still a solid big no matter what. He's still going to get you 18 to 20 points and 12 rebounds, which is great numbers. So I mean, they're definitely doing well. G did a great job, man, and appreciate him stepping up and taking over a team. It makes in a rough season, man. It's been a rough year, and people like that are really make me want to stick around because I know there are other people out there that actually care about this league. So, shout out to him, man, and don't wish him the best of luck because he gonna get that ass whooping in week 1, but I appreciate him stepping up still.
So, with that being said, the Rockets. What are your thoughts on the Rockets there, Zach's going to call you Cleveland. Z, actually. I'm sorry for that, by the way. I was going to call you Cleveland Cavs, but go ahead.
I am the Cavs. But as for the Rockets, they I don't know. They're kind of right there where I thought they would be. I wouldn't think they would be a great team. I wasn't thinking G Money was going to be a great Harden starting from the beginning of the season. And, I mean, he picked it up a little bit. But like I said, Ramos playing Capella, it's not really his role. But they're an alright team, like I said.
Now, there was a little drama with this number 17 moving up. Oklahoma City is now up 1 spot from last week, however, down 1 spot from where we initially had them in the power rankings at the beginning of the preseason here. So they're right where we had them, but OKC up 1 spot from last week, and OKC lost its owner last week. To give you a little bit of reporting, and I have to get into this here because this is the situation, because we've already discussed it a little bit, but Oklahoma City, just so everyone is aware, there was an issue where they called up a player and the staff pushed that player through. There was no check from the owner, which I hold 50% responsibility, and no check from the staff, which holds 50% responsibility. But because of the way that ended out, which I feel at the end was the right call or close to the right call, I think there could have been a little bit more discussion back and forth. But like most people in the EBA, they bump into any kind of adversity and they say, I quit, walk away, hat down, whatever. So Mike Mann actually stepped down as owner, leaving Oklahoma City in the Final Four week without a team, trying to push their way into the playoffs. So, of course, being the commissioner, Texas James, I got to come directly to you because now this is your team. Not are you only own it, but you're actually on this team. I appreciate you as both owner of the site, media, and player that you stepped up and took this team in this last week to try to finish out the week and not do what some of these other teams we're going to discuss did and just didn't show up, including my own. You struggled, you put together some guys. Guys were pissed because of the situation and how it handled, which they rightfully have the right to be pissed, but it should be pissed directed at their owner and at staff, not just at staff, which I've seen a lot of comments and chats and inboxes and so forth that staff sucks, blah, 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 which I understand you're going to get that no matter what decision you make. But first I want you to put on your owner's cap because you are an owner of the Oklahoma City Thunder. I mean, what are your thoughts of how this week played out? Because it was a really stressful week for both as a staff member, commissioner, and having to step up an owner on OKC. I mean, I had to tell the backstory in order to understand where we're at, but go ahead and give me kind of your point of where you're at with Oklahoma City.
When I first stepped in, we had a lot of guys really pissed, and a lot of guys didn't want to play. So I took the guys that were willing to ride or die with me, and we threw them together and had a great week with them. We went 3-1, beat teams like the Rockets, smashed the Wizards, and had a tight game against the number 2 Trailblazers. Crash was running point guard for us. Truth, ATS Gangsta, BLG. I mean, a couple of these guys that we also signed a couple late signups when they opened that up, which is really gonna help us. I blacklisted guys that didn't play. If I didn't hear from them, they was gone. I don't play that shit. Some people want to call me a bitch. Some people want to call me a hoe for kicking people out for not showing up to the games. But that's what we're supposed to do here. If you don't want to play, you don't need to be here. You don't show, you go. Period. And so I had people taking snapshots of my group, me talking about how is this bitch running the fucking team. You talking about, oh, I'm gonna show and then just watch how I play. I'm gonna blacklist your ass for that shit. And then you, after saying that shit, you still don't show. Gone. Robbing the Banks out of here. Couldn't contact Melo. Gone. He's out of here. Don't play that shit. Almost had to get rid of Figgy, but Figgy contacted me last second, told me he was just been real busy. He's down to play. Going into the playoffs, I have an active roster. These guys want to play, and my boys are hyped to play. We fought, and
Well, we're not
and
talking
there,
about that
man. We're
yet.
right there,
We're
so.
talking about that fourth week of how everything played out. I mean, I know that, like you said, you were stressful as both the commissioner and the owner of the Thunder, and
it was rough.
Just so people are
It
aware,
was definitely rough because of
if
the
you
guys that.
I want to say this real quick, just so people are aware. If you can't find an owner for the team in a very short period, especially following their last week, Oklahoma City was in a place where they would have to struggle to make a playoff appearance. So it was more about just finishing the season with some dignity with Oklahoma City. So the fact that you stepped up, it's your job to make sure that every team is showing up and playing. It's what you do as commissioner. So it's not unheard of in the past. That has happened all the way back to the original VBA that I helped set up season 1 with Fatal. That is a real thing. If staff will have to step up if they can't find owners in a reasonable amount of time to take that team. And there was enough pissed off people there. I just want to make that clear because a lot of people are confused of why is staff stepping up, because staff had to step up and just kind of ride this team out this final week. Z, actually, I want to go to you real quick because I want to skip Kamish, but I'll come back to you, I swear. Z, actually, I mean, looking at this OKC team, what are your thoughts for where they're at on the season? They ended up at number 7 for the final power rankings. They're under one spot where we initially had them. Do you think this team is where they should be, where they shouldn't be? I mean, what do you think?
I think they are just about where they should have been. They're not the worst team, but they're the bottom tier. The pick was just from the get-go, getting the Thunder where they were at was just a selfish pick. And it was never going to work out. I mean, you would have to have 2 great point guards and then some really good bigs or something to make that work. So, as for the end of the season and how it rolled and Mike Mann quitting, I don't know much about the situation. I wasn't there, but it's on both staff and the owner. The owner initially did it, and for you not to know what you're doing, that's on him. But players always want to blame staff. Always.
Well, you previously being staff, you understand both sides of it. But it is some responsibility, a half, I would say 50%, on the owner for not going to the list and picking somebody on that was on 50, that list. 50. So it was, I will give it to staff for not confirming, and just going through. But again, we're going to make mistakes. We don't pay these guys. You guys, know that. You didn't get any kind of payment. You get a little bit extra AC, but that's about it, you can't cash that anywhere. But other than that, you're doing it because you care about the league and want to see the league grow and want to see the league continue to do what we do. And to have, you're always going to get blamed. So you understand both sides of it, being an owner now especially. And I think you ran a team. That's why I said you're up for me, owner of the year, along with It's Rush. Easily, those two have to be owner of the years for me for being rookie owners and doing as well as you had with a little bit of hiccups here and there, but you handled them professionally, I think. But I told you to come back to you, Kamish, because this is your team, and I know you want to say more. Did you only have one line show up this week, so you forfeited the other 4, or did you? I
did.
You did? Okay.
No. We had one line show. I went to this week with 6-man roster. Had a blacklist, a couple of guys that didn't show up for the Cavs game actually. I dug into the free agency. I got guys said they were the show, and then right as we're joining the game, one of my guys like, oh well, I gotta do this other playoff thing or whatever, so I can't play. So we had to forfeit that game. Unfortunately, luckily that was the only game we forfeited.
You only forfeited one game this week?
We got some forfeit wins, which opened up some spots.
Gotcha.
And so we were able to play the 4 we had. We lost 1 to the Blazers, which was a close game. But shout out to my boys, man. Crash, Truth, Eric, ATS Gangsta, Dirty Falcon. Those guys really came through big for me this week. They showed up to every one of their games. Crash fell asleep in one, but it's whatever. Falcon stepped up. So I mean, we're ready, man. We're here. We're active, and I really appreciate those guys sticking it out, man, and keeping it 100 for the squad.
We'll take it now to number 8, the Wizards. The Wiz I have on here, Wiz at number 8. They're down 1 spot from last week. However, they're down 3 spots from where we initially had them at 5, setting at number 8. The Wizards, going back to Z actually, to me, it felt like they had a couple strong pieces in the beginning that just didn't feel. Again, way too much money on JT, and even speaking with JT last week on the show, he absolutely agreed that nobody's worth that kind of money. But that, him able to move them halfway through the season, I figured he would free up some cap and go after somebody else that could really support that team. I think they were just floundering and didn't have the right pieces in the right spots. What are your thoughts on the Wizard to be all the way down at number 8? I mean, were you expecting them to finish here?
Yeah, that's from what went down in bidding. I expected them to be a lower tier team, and with the Wizards, I mean, as a 2K team, it's John Wall and then Bradley Beal. The 3 through the 5 is lower tier compared to other teams. So
Yeah, I mean, I would agree. I like Otto Porter, and I think the last week they moved Otto Porter to 4, and Mags was actually balling out the last couple games with Otto Porter. But I agree with you. I think the Wizards definitely aren't. They're a good team, but you have to have the people that know how to be powerful at those
you
spots.
gotta have the right
Yeah,
pieces for the
yeah,
right
and I
spot.
think they fell apart there and dropped a couple because of it. What are your thoughts, Texas, on the Wizards?
See, like, I feel I played them twice this week, and first game was a blowout. I feel like just moving so many pieces around for these guys at the end, just really they couldn't get anything going, man. They were just I feel like it was just a cluster of not not being played together. Maybe too many free agents in there. I mean, it just I played them week 1 and I played them this week, and it's just a completely different team. They just seemed a little lost, in my opinion.
Yeah, the Wizard was beaten. I was on OKC in the beginning, and the Wizards were beating us a couple of times in the beginning of the season, and then it seems like
Hmm.
at the end of the season they were struggling to beat anybody. But a shout out to Garbage Assassin, one because he did deal with some adversity this season and still stuck it out as a rookie owner. He went with a
Hundred
mentality of
percent.
getting my guys together and then putting strong people on the second line to carry me. Unfortunately, though, it didn't work out because the pieces he had and the money he paid. But being the last pick and not finishing in last should be some sort of moral victory because he was in the running to make the playoffs, and we'll discuss that in just a minute. And I think missed it by 1 or 2 games here. So moving on to the number 9 spot, which is the LA Clippers. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on them, but they're down 1 spot from where we initially had them. I think you called it at the beginning of the season. What happened last week was the Clippers owner went on IR because of a job. Even though I seen him online every single night I was on, I don't know if he has family getting on, so I'm not calling him out personally. However, I'm just saying that I seen him on, I seen Trainer on when I was still online waiting for my games to happen. And the Clippers fall in that same spot that I believe the Jazz fell in, where nobody showed up and played any other games, and they're down to that 9th spot, 1 spot down from where we initially had them. What are your thoughts on the Clippers, Texas? I guess. I mean, what are your thoughts?
This was a thing. I had some staff members warn about giving Quickie owner, and just on Quickie's previous history, we felt that we'll take a chance on him. He's been an active player in the league. He's been around for a while. He's been on my team a few seasons in the last 4 or 5 seasons that we've had here, and so I felt like taking a risk on Quickie was something good we could do. Unfortunately, he bailed out. He quit the last week. IR or not, you're still responsible for your team, so he will be punished for forfeiting the whole last week. Not even trying. After he told me personally that they would play at least half. So I mean, it's absolutely embarrassing, and that's that's something that's unfortunate. So I'm very disappointed in them. I figured they finished lower, but I finished lower because of their talent, not because of quitting. But I guess it goes hand in hand in this case.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the Los Angeles Clippers, they actually won. I was on the team, so as my only EBA trophy, they actually won the EBA championship last year, beating the Golden State Warriors and then going into the finals and beating Boston to win it all. And now Los Angeles Clippers is at the bottom of the league in number 9. Same team, except I think they're a little stronger this season than they were last season when it comes to the EBA or NBA players, the NBA players, because most of the season Chris Paul was out, and this season they seems like they have Chris Paul back. So I mean, looking at this team as the Cavs, looking over and going, oh wow, LA Clippers shouldn't be that low. I mean, would you say circumstance, or would you say definitely the talent of the EBA players were extremely lower than what they were last year?
Yeah, the talent's not even close to what Mizark had over there. I mean, it was just awful. He didn't do good bidding, just overall, just bad.
Yeah, I think he said in the beginning it was some LGBA guys. They actually, we'll talk about a little bit what their ended record is here, but it was 7-25, which they lost 25 games, only won 7 on the season with the Clippers. Moving on to the Los Angeles.
And they won 5 in the first week.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Say one more thing before we
go ahead.
advance.
Shoot, definitely. Go ahead.
Looking at this, and it looks like he put in stats for like one game, like just awful.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Just looking at the stats, like it's awful.
So moving on to the number 10 Lakers, as we can get even more awfuler, I guess I'm looking for. Worster, the Los Angeles Lakers. LA just was sick this year. The Lakers, first of all, should have never been picked, and we've discussed this many times, but they're exactly where we had them at the beginning of the season. They're at the bottom, begging for air. I don't want to beat a dead horse like I say every single week.
I think you capitalized. I think you said it perfectly when you used the word Worster. I think that describes the Lakers.
Worster than anything. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts, Z, actually, on the Los Angeles Lakers? Again, another team that didn't play a single game last week because people quit.
Everybody knows what the Lakers were going to be. Move on.
Good. I'm with you. I'm 100% with you. So let's now discuss the next step. All the sad in the beginning. Rest in peace feelings. So if you have any feelings, you need to put that shit away right now, because we are going to get a little evil here. Because I'm going to say exactly what's on my mind. Usually Ice sits back and plays the nice media guy. I'm going to call out a couple people as the show continues to go on. So if you have any feelings, you need to put those to rest right now. Let's talk about the rest in peace for the season. Season 7 EBA is come to an end. Now we're in the playoffs. These are the teams that didn't make it. The Los Angeles Lakers at a 4-28. The Los Angeles Clippers at 7-25 did not make the playoffs. The Washington Wizards 13-9. Now, congratulations to the Wizards because they had a shot. Let me explain why. We're going to get to the headline here, which is the New York Knicks at 16-16. From my understanding, and I'm going to go right to the commissioner on this one first because I want to know if my understanding is correct. But everybody around the league's like, why'd you for blah, 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 why? Okay, the situation is this. The New York Knicks, even ranked as high as they were on the season with a 16-16 record, which is tied with Utah Jazz in their conference, the whole team quit the last week. Said that he cannot put together a team going into the playoffs, and Mizark said, there's nothing I can do. Do not put me in the playoffs. I am stepping down. Put the next seed in. Which at that point created a race between the Washington Wizards and the Oklahoma City Thunder, which ended up being a game difference, pushing the Thunder into the playoffs with that seed. So I have rest in peace Knicks. Is that how it happened out here? Kind of get into the drama a little bit for me. I hate to get into drama, but definitely talk about what's going on right now. Why do I have them on the rest in peace?
This is how it happened, man. I got hit with a groomie from Miz, and he pretty much told me what you explained. My guys, we can't put a squad together. We're pretty much done, man. There's no point in putting me in the playoffs. Let the next seed in. Well, on one hand, I'm pissed because he let this happen. On the other hand, I respect the hell out of him for coming to me and at least letting us know and not giving a team in the playoffs a free pass to just slide to the next round. He stepped up and he told us, they fucked up. They're done. Nothing can be done for them to let the next seed roll. And at that point, the Wizards and the Thunder were in a lock. Mike just quit. I took over. We had to make something happen to get there. So the next team behind the Knicks was going to go in. It was between those two teams. And so that's pretty much what happened. And And we talked about it as staff, and we did not want to give a team in the playoffs a free pass just to walk through a round. So instead, we decided the next team with the next best record would get in, and that ended up being my team, the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Looking at this, actually, you were staff, so you kind of said you're better than most understanding both sides of this. I've got in here, rest in peace to these two teams.
Hey,
Los
I'm an
Angeles
owner.
Lakers, yeah, okay. Los Angeles Lakers, shit. Los Angeles Clippers, shit. I mean, literally shit themselves. Both of those teams. First of all, when he picked Lakers, we knew that was we knew it was going to happen, and hopefully, as staff, they punish Trainer in some way, whether it's a blacklist, whether it's not allowed to be owner, some way the Lakers need to be punished for fucking our season up and for fucking all 8 other players that were on that team and didn't have really a choice. And shout out to whatever player stuck it through. It definitely deserves my respect. For the Clippers, the fact that the last week comes along and the fact you only won 7 games, shit, hopefully somebody is punished there as well. Moving on to the Washington Wizards. The Washington Wizards and Oklahoma City struggling to get that last seed because of New York Knicks. What are your thoughts on these teams that we're kind of putting to bed here? The Lakers, the Clippers, the putting to bed, what I mean is that the season's done, we're rest in peace, we're burying them. No longer will they be the same team that they are, the Washington Wizards and the New York Knicks. Give me your insight, Mr. Actually. I called you Mr. Actually.
Oh, just every other season, there's always teams that don't end up playing like the end of the season. They just not play the last week. It always happens, and unfortunately, this season it happened more than it should. But
well, out of these 4 teams here we're putting to sleep, 3 of them did that. 4 total. I think Knicks played a couple games on Monday, I believe. Maybe I'm wrong on this. But after that, they just couldn't play. They were done. They quit. It's the situation of running into adversity and still trying to put something together. And for the benefit of the EBA, Miz, after winning it all last season, says, no, I just don't put my team in because I can't put together a team. It's going to be a complete forfeit every game and move them on. What are your thoughts on that in particular, of letting the next person with the next best record step up and take that spot?
I feel it was the right move on staff to, not give whoever they were going to play a pass. So it was the right move, and was respect to Mizark for letting staff know what's going on and not, just not showing up when the time comes, playoffs come, or whatever.
Yeah, my favorite team on this rest in peace is probably the Washington Wizards. I've got a lot of cool guys over there. I like them. It's sad that they're not in the playoffs. I don't think they would have made it far because of the talent that they had. However, they're all great guys, and I wish them the best in next season. And hopefully, Garbage Assassin does come back after having a bad season and do it again.
Agreed.
And Mizark,
I think he got his rookie season jitters out, man. I think he can come back and do something really good next season.
I think Mizark with the Knicks, it's sad to see what happened. However, I mean, the situation falls. You play with the same people, and if they keep doing the same thing to you, I mean, hopefully you don't pick those guys up next season. If you decide to come back as owner, I'm assuming you don't want to be owner anymore. I know you didn't really want to be owner this season, and you stepped up last minute to try to help out. So, for me, what were you gonna say?
No, just fine.
Oh, go ahead. What was your? I'm down. Shoot, brother. What do you got?
Hey, this is rip, bro.
I thought you were talking to me at first, and I was like, yeah, no, definitely not returning.
Oh, you're not returning as owner?
You're not coming back?
Oh, I was kidding.
Oh, okay.
Moving
on, let's talk.
I'm about to come across the screen and slap the shit out of somebody.
Oh, he's gonna.
Tell me who the blacklist, bro.
Who the blacklist?
Tell me who the blacklist.
What
bro.
problems you got?
How am I gonna get you back?
Talking EBA playoffs, which I don't know if you noticed, as I use the same graphic every season, which I'm sure the people who are longtime watchers see it. But ESPN and ABC, we're on ESPN and ABC now as the EBA playoffs.
I'm sure ABC loves this shit. I'm sure ABC loves this shit.
I'm sure I'll get a cease and desist order in the mail tomorrow. I doubt it. They could care less about my piddly little show. Anyway, at EBA, yeah, I know, right? EBA Tonight. This is the playoffs. We are in the playoffs. The playoffs are starting. We can discuss, talk playoffs. Let's get in it. Let's do it quickly because I know we're already pushing time here. But the number 1 seed in the West is, congratulations, the Cleveland Cavaliers. Got the number 1 seed. I know, looking at your record for the year, it was 27-5. Portland was 26-6. That's a pretty close little. You might have the head-to-head against them, so they probably needed to win 2 games. I don't know, but would you say you're setting comfortably in that bye week?
Oh, we know we're gonna face them when it comes next round. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind when it comes to that, and it's gonna be a battle. I mean, King Havoc and Shadows is a nice line. I mean, I'm not scared of the other line, but that one line is kind of scary. We played them twice this week. We lost the first time, but stuck out the second time. So we split it this week and was able to sneak that first seed from them. So
Well, setting in that second seed spot, Portland Trailblazers at the 26-6, and then from there, that third seed, barely sneaking into the playoffs at 16-16. I would say barely, but because of the other two teams that are in this, I did say barely, but because of Los Angeles Clippers and Lakers sucking so bad this season,
well,
they forfeited the whole last week. Probably could have forfeited the whole third week and still made it to the playoffs. That's how bad this Western Conference was, which that's pretty rough. With that being said, Utah and Trailblazers, you said, Z, actually, you got Portland winning, and how many?
it'll be 4-0. I mean, if Jazz even show up. I don't
Ouch!
know. I'm not over there. So it's going to be either 4-0 or 3-1. I don't expect any more than one. It takes.
I can tell you, the Jazz locker room is feeling a swift kick in the balls you just gave us from a Jazz player. I'm a little pissed off my team didn't play last week. However, they said they want to go hard in the playoffs, and every time we've played them earlier in the season, which we played them once earlier with this line, it was close, and I think our line's gotten better with moving a couple people. However, you don't know what Utah Jazz team you're getting, so I completely understand that call as well. Texas, looking how this is playing out here, 2 and 3. Who do you have, and how many?
I'm rooting for the Jazz. I don't feel, and this is not a shot at Rush, man. I know me and Rush had some words before, but uh, I think Rush is a great owner, but I don't feel like they're as good as their record leads on. I played them the other day. I played DHG, and he's a great big man, and Rush and them, and they're a great team. But with a patch line, with a first time ever Westbrook in a patch line, we lost by 5 on a last possession type of game. I feel like the Jazz can compete with them. I really do. Maybe it's just the underdog want to root them the best, but I feel like they could compete with them. Man, it's gonna come down to the big play. As long as Gobert can get under the rim and bang, then which he shouldn't have an issue doing, then they should actually make a series out of this. As long as y'all show up and have two lines to compete every game, but. Um, I feel like it's gonna be closer to 4-0 if the Jazz show up. If the Jazz don't show up, then BC gonna get a punishment because he already missed fucking all last week. So, but we'll step into that a whole nother day. But I'm rooting for you guys. I really wish you guys the best. I think y'all can do it. But seeing the Blazers Cavs matchup would be fun too.
Yeah, definitely. My opinion on this is biased only because I'm in the Jazz locker room. I think we have the talent. However, there's a ton of question marks over the Jazz right now. The number one question mark is they forfeited all last week. Can we get 10 guys to show up next week? Not only that, but can we get 5, the 5 that wants to play, can they come in and play together and win? I know that JT is now playing in the finals in a different league. I wish him the best. He's a great player. But if you're looking at him, you're looking at Hot Shot, you're looking at Rush, or I'm sorry, not Rush. Rush is on the other team. But if you're looking at Mo and you're looking at Saucin and myself, that's the line. That's those guys, not including me, I'm just a corner monkey, but those guys are pretty strong, solid players, some of the better players in the league. If they can show up and play, the question mark is gone. I think we'll make it a series, if not win it. But the question mark is,
I agree.
can those guys show up? Can they be there? Do they want to be there? Do they want to focus on this and make this a priority to win this first round? I don't know. They could not, and then we end up losing 4-0. If the other line can win a game, I think we can secure it, no problem. But the question mark is definitely on that second line. Can they win a game? Can they pull off a win? And does the team show up? So there's 2 or 3 question marks there. As a media guy, I would definitely say that Utah Jazz was not making it to the next round. However, as a member of the Jazz, I want our guys to be there. I'm confident we're going to be there, and I'm confident we're going to beat Portland. However, the media side of me says you already overlook the Trailblazers once, don't make the same mistake twice, Ice. So you have to put Portland ahead, and so I'm torn here because this is my team. So call me biased, call me whatever. I think we have the team and the power to make it all the way to the finals, and that's not a shot at Z or a shot at the Cavs. That's a shot as being the underdogs and overlooked at Utah. And I think we have some pretty powerful pieces. The problem is can we get our guys to show up? Can they show up and play? And can our other line pull off at least a win to help us out? Because that one line can't lose one. And so those are a lot of question marks that kind of overshadow Jazz, where there's not a whole lot of question marks anywhere in Portland. They've had the same group of guys for a pretty long time. Itz Rush has put together a great team. Hats off to Itz Rush as a rookie owner. And it's more likely, without the question marks, you'll see Portland versus Cleveland. Now, you're not here next week, Z, and I usually don't ask this to my people, but I want to know, Cleveland versus Portland, what do you think you'll beat them in? Because of course you think you're going to beat them. You wouldn't, you would. If you say, we're going to lose to them, of course you think you're going to win. So what do you think how many games you think you can beat them in?
I think we can beat them in 6.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I was thinking. I was thinking 6.
I have the utmost confidence, but I'm just going to be honest. I mean,
I'm going to be straight up, man. I don't think anybody
lose a
can.
game, and then I don't know. But
I don't think anybody.
One of our lines going to go 4-0, so it's all good.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. I don't think anybody's going to be able to fuck with Bebe, man. Bebe's line.
And with the addition of Melo now, and now Kobe's down.
Yeah, man.
Going down to Tristan.
I mean, he's just out there slaughtering with Irvin, man. So, yeah, they're killing. I don't know if anybody until y'all meet the Pelicans. Probably that line's going to be really tough.
Yeah, I won't overlook Portland again. I made that mistake. So if Portland does get past us, I think it's going to be a really good series. I mean, we'll talk more about it next week and my thoughts on it, but I think it'll be a really good series, and I think that they have some strengths that they could take advantage of. However, you do have arguably the MVP of the league on your team with Irving. Exclusives had a great season. Your team has had a really good season. I mean, losing 5 games out of 32 games is pretty damn good, especially, like I said, for a rookie owner. So hats off to you and your team, and I'm not taking anything from you. I think that's going to be a great conference, looking over at a great series if it happens. If it's Utah, we're going to beat you guys. Sorry, it's just, I mean, if our guys can show up, we're going to run through. Anyway, looking over at the East, New Orleans took the number 1 seed with a record of 20-12. So they ended up pulling up and taking that number 1 seed back over in the Eastern Conference. Now, New York Knicks did have the 2nd seed, but they retired the 2nd seed to the Houston Rockets, which is 15-17. Stepped up, the Houston Rockets took that. So the New York's at 16-16 is pretty much stepped out of the league with players quitting and owners quitting. So the Houston Rockets do take that 2nd seed at Houston. From there, it was a fight between Oklahoma City and Washington Wizards, which Oklahoma City, by 1 game, snuck into the playoffs at that 3rd spot. Now, anything can happen in the playoffs. I'm going to go to Z actually first. The number 1 seed over in New Orleans, is that a surprise to you, or you feel that's the 2nd best team in the league behind yours?
Yeah, the Pelicans, I knew in that conference they were going to be a top.
Now, looking at the next step, the Rockets and the Thunder, Z, I mean, Rockets being 15-17, Thunder being 14-18, who do you feel could pull that out between the Rockets and the Thunder with everything going on, with a new owner in both places, with new players in both places? Who do you think is going to pull out that win over there, and how many?
I'm going to go with the Rockets, only because, I mean, they're both a toss-up. They're both having issues or whatever. It's just Rockets, I think, have a little bit more continuity than the Thunder do right now. And overall, the 2K team is going to help the Rockets a lot. Anybody on the team can shoot.
What are your thoughts, Mr. Commissioner/owner, the New Orleans Pelicans? First, let's go here. Commissioner/owner of the Thunder, New Orleans Pelicans are number 1 seed. Do you feel that they deserve
this Pelicans team, man? This Pelicans team, man. We beat them a couple times early on. Dimes was having some MIA issues at the time. Man, Dimes told me, I was like, yo, what's happening? Are you okay? You gonna play? And Dimes told me like, look, dude, I'll never quit. I didn't sign up to be owner to give up. And this was week 2. This is when he was missing and a lot of shit was going down. Man, I'm telling you, you want to talk about 180. That team turned the fuck around quick. And they are rough. I mean, they spam one play, go down, give it to Cousins in the paint, and you can't stop them. But you know what? Hats off to him because that is fucking rough, dude. That is great decision making by Fab. Uh, Great decision making by One Wild Walnut under the rim. They are a tough ass team to play, and they're going to be very difficult to beat after we wipe the floor with the Rockets.
Oh, how much do you think you're beating the Rockets in then? Thunder, Rockets, who do you have? How many? Of course you have the Thunder. How many?
Just fun facts, man. You know, we beat the Rockets quite a bit this season. We got a new team now. I love Mike. You know, he stepped out, man, but unfortunately that happened. You know, I know he's very I think he kind of was quick to pull that trigger, and I hope that he's looking to come back in the future. He's a great owner, man. Unfortunately, he made one bad decision real quick. Great guy, man. Great player. Hopefully he comes back, but we got a new team, man. Got Crash running on Westbrook on one side. Got Dirty Falcons running Westbrook on the other side. Picked up Pure Hustle. Great team, man. I feel like our second line's a lot better now than what they were before. I feel like we're gonna beat them, man. I feel like we're gonna beat them in 6. I feel like we're gonna beat them in 6, man. But I wouldn't be surprised if it went to 7.
Okay, so you're gonna beat them, and you're gonna get the Thunder in 6, huh?
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah,
and Z, actually, you had, I'm writing this down so I can keep track of it. You had the Rockets in how many?
I'll do Rockets in 7.
Rockets in 7. Okay. Are you gonna have them go to 7? Thunder in 6, Rockets in 7. Texas and Z. Okay. I'm writing this down so I can then reply for it next week because I think a couple things is shaking here. First, I want to point out something. Every owner that is in the playoffs as owner are technically rookie owners, minus Beastie a little bit, but he took over a team and gave up the team, so he never really has been a full owner from the start. So technically, every owner that is here is a rookie/new owner. Dimes, Z, it's Rush, G Money, Texas, and then also Beastie. Every single one of them are new owners. So
slash commissioner.
Whatever. Not every single one of them slash commissioner, but every single one of these guys are new owners. Technically new owners. Like I said, Beastie, you can argue whatever back and forth, but realistically, this is his rookie season as owner as well.
Yeah, I mean,
for taking
Beastie
over.
signed up for owner. Shit went down, and instead of tanking the season before, he stepped out before bidding even started.
Yep.
So I mean, that's definitely does not count as a season for him.
With the drama and everything that's going on right now, I wish G Money the best. I honestly do. I appreciate him stepping up. I appreciate it for the league. And I think his team is a better team. However, I don't think you can stop momentum. And right now, Thunder has momentum. The guys that are on there picked up and won some games this week. I think they were gifted a spot, and I hate to say it like that, but you know, the New York Knicks falling apart gave the Thunder new life, even though they were still only 1-2 games out of taking it from the Rockets.
Had to work. We had to work for that spot.
You did. You beat the Wizards for
twice.
it, but arguably at the beginning of the week, you were fighting for that to not be last in the division. Now you're fighting for you actually have a playoff berth. So I think that's momentum for your team. I think it'll take 6 or 7 if you do get past the Rockets, which I'm taking you in 7 because I think it's going to take that long. I'm taking the Thunder in 7, and that's not shooting the Rockets short. I think the Rockets, looking at their roster, is a better team. Looking at the team itself is a better team from playing on the Thunder. And I think the Rockets can easily. The only problem is can the Rockets, I know they forfeited a couple games last week. Can they put things together? Are they going to focus? There's still a few question marks, just like I had on the opposite side, that really makes me go, okay, can the Rockets do something against the Thunder, or is the Thunder just have that momentum? I know the Thunder's going to show. I know you're going to show up to every game. I know you're going to push to try to win every game, and still have that momentum behind you. So I'm gonna go. Ice is gonna go with the Thunder in 7. Now that's surprising because the Thunder barely snuck in there.
Let's get it, man.
But I think the Thunder under new ownership, and this is a shot at Mike if you want to take it, a shot at Mike, whatever. Villain can be a villain, however you want to play it back. I think the communication is a key point, and I think you're better at that. I think management's a key point. I think you're better at that. And I think listening to your guys and getting them in the right spots and being more ball friendly and spreading the team out a bit, I think will be super strong. Hats off to Crash for playing point guard. I think he's a solid player all around. I really want to see the Thunder. I want to see the Thunder only to laugh at the Thunder for handling business the way they did, or the ownership of the Thunder. I want to see the Thunder go all the way to the finals. I really do. I doubt they will. I'm pretty sure they'll run headfirst into the brick wall called the New Orleans Pelicans, and I just don't think they're strong enough. But as a team-wise, I don't think they're strong enough. I think the Pelicans as a team is just blow the Thunder away, not counting the roster. The roster's super strong. So it's going to be very difficult for me to say you're going to beat the Pelicans, but let's not focus on that. Let's focus on this week, you beating the Rockets. So I think that's how it's going to end up over there. Let me ask you this from Z, actually, because you're not going to be, of course, next week. You might be. I don't know. Maybe you will be next week. But looking at this, who do you want to see in the finals? Let's say you clean the floor, you're waiting on the finals, because that's what your mentality is get to the finals and worry about there. Who do you think you'll see there? Who do you have on the opposite side seeing in that final, Mark?
I definitely see the Pelicans coming out. I mean, I can see the Rockets or Thunder, whichever one makes it there, will steal a game or two, but ultimately the Pelicans are too powerful.
Yeah, I think I would have to agree with you there. I doubt that whoever wins that, like I said, that Rockets Thunder game is definitely going to have momentum going into that game. I don't know if it's enough. The only question mark that's on New Orleans is if all of those guys can show up and play in the finals after setting a week. I don't know. I don't know what's going on the following week with them. So moving on around the league real quick, we're going to hit a few things that's going on around the league. Right now in the around the league, we have, I believe it's a couple people, EBA, let me see here, Mr. Youngshot putting together week 4 EBA top plays. Shout out to Mr. Youngshot this year and to E-Money for putting these things together. I think it livens up the form. So definitely around the league, check out the EBA top plays of the week. If I'm assuming he's going to continue doing it going into the finals, so send Mr. Youngshot your clips and he can put together. I love those videos. I think he does a really good job. It looks sharp. I'd love to put top plays on the show if we can work together somewhere down the road, and love to show those because I think he does such a great job at doing those. So shout out to Mr. Youngshot. E-Money.
Top plays of the year would be savage, man. If he went through and cut in some top plays of the year, that would be hella nice.
He is. Shout out to Mr. Youngshot.
That is what's up.
Be the boss. E-Money 3K also. Shout out to those guys. I know E-Money has been working on it. It's hard for me to give E-Money props because he was GM of the Lakers, but I know his heart is in the right place, so I don't want to beat up on him too bad. Shout out to those guys. Also, I guess a 32-team pro league is happening on the site as well. It's kind of different, not really around the league, but it's definitely league related because I know we have a lot of pro-am guys. They're putting together a 32 money league. I think it's $30 to enter, and it payouts like $800 total. I think it's $650 to the winner and $150 to the other side that makes it to so it's just a quick playoff game, and I think it happens within next week. So if anybody's interested, go sign up, get that done. That'd be great. It's on the site. Anything else I'm missing on the site that around the league that's happened this week, Kamish?
Not that I can think of, man. Nothing that's like stand out to me ASAP. So yeah, no, can't think of anything.
Yeah, shout out to the guys that continue to post. Mr. Youngshot, E-Money. I see some guys on here, Miz, those guys, Revolves. Shout out to those guys who continue to post plays of the week, post just crazy threads and so forth, even with your insane ass calling people out. But there we go. That is the around the league, what's going on in the EBA playoffs this week. So if you're not If you're not in, you're out. Sit on the sideline, watch some playoff games. I'm sure people will be streaming, so that's what's going on around the league. Season 7 award nominees. I threw this in here right after Around the Week because this is important. This is what's upcoming. We're going to start talking about awards within the next couple weeks during playoffs. We'll talk about playoffs, and then we'll have an award section. However, we want to discuss, I think needs to be discussed, some people that we feel we'll be seeing in the of the year awards or the All-Star awards or the MVP. I have Kevin Hart here holding an award. It's pretty hilarious. But it's really around the EBA. This season was kind of rough, I think, and we'll talk a little bit about that next. But as your mind as commissioner starts focusing on the off season and getting ready for next season, I know you're also focusing on winning your games next week. But let's talk season 7 award nominees. What do you have for me there, Texas?
Let's talk about the MVP running, man. We're probably gonna have a close MVP this season. Probably a lot closer than was last season with Bebe killing it over there, doing his thing. Z actually squad in Cleveland. And Hotshot, man. Hotshot's put up some great numbers as well. He has pretty much the close amount of shots made. 30 points behind with 189 rebounds, which is one of the top in the league. He's up there, second, I believe, in the league. So yeah, that's definitely something that's gonna be a fun to watch type of thing. Got scores galore this season. My goodness, people just putting buckets in. Man, I couldn't even know where to start, man.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the MVP race. I mean, actually Irving on your team, would you say he was definitely the most valuable player to your team this season?
Oh yeah, he was definitely the most valuable player. I mean, he was most of the offense in terms of points and assists. He is up there in assists. Everybody thinks he's just a scorer, but he did get a lot of assists as well.
He's got 135 in assists, which throughout the league that puts him at 4th place in the league. Yeah, it puts him at 4th in the league for assists. What I seen exciting, which is the 157 for 238, 60%. 60% shooting, that's pretty solid. I think Irving found his niche with his guy. Some people say he's hard to play with and hard to deal with. As an owner, would you agree to that, or would you say no, the kid's solid? I mean, what are your thoughts on him as a player?
You got to put him with the right people, or else he's gonna get on a lot of people's nerves. But he is a good player. You just gotta let him go.
He was on the show earlier and playing 10 at the point guard position, playing 10 games, out of his 11 games at the point guard position, 380 points, 135 assists, 15 steals, 45 turnovers. So his turnovers are a little high. However, his 60% shooting, I think, puts him in the race, if not top in the race, for the MVP award. I don't think there's too many people that are coming close. You can put King Havoc in that argument. You can put Hotshot in that argument, and one Wild Walnut. King Havoc playing 13 games at point guard, so he does have 3 more games with a lot less points at 347, but he has a lot less shots. A little less turnovers, which is good, but 165 assists, so he does share the ball a bit more, and he was a little bit solid on defense with 4 blocks and 22 steals. So you can argue that could be point guard of the year material on top of the MVP for his team, King Havoc. And Hotshot playing center with 11 games played at center at 352 points, 189 rebounds. That puts him second overall behind Garbage Assassin.
41 steals, second in steals.
Yes,
second in the league in steals.
He's second overall. Yeah, second overall in steals, which puts Fab up there in steals. But rebounds, you're looking at 189, which puts him second in steals and second in rebounds. If not, definitely an all-star. If he doesn't win MVP, he's definitely an all-star and arguably center of the year with those kind of statistics. If Garbage would have scored more, maybe he could pull out center of the year. That's pretty. But
that's tough, man. Because looking at that Hotshot Irving comparison, man, those 41 steals really stand out because it seems close for me. And those 41 steals, man, they really just stand out to me, bro. Like that might be the difference maker in my
And
vote.
as far as the record goes, I don't know how many wins or losses Hotshot has.
Indeed,
I know maybe only lost once.
indeed,
Yeah,
indeed.
I don't
True
know how
that.
many wins Hotshot has as well, but I do know Irving is a solid on that side. I mean, it's arguably
They're,
definitely
they're
up for
on
a
a
vote.
16-16 team. I don't know how
Yeah,
that's gonna
no,
go.
that's definitely MVP
Like I said,
Irving.
win losses is like should be most important in my eyes.
Okay, Harden.
Right,
Oh,
right.
okay, no.
Somebody needs to
We're
shave
talking
that
about
Some
that.
beard.
It's gonna be
somebody needs to
talking
shave
about
their beard.
Westbrook.
Yeah,
Westbrook is the MVP.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah. Okay.
playoffs don't matter to the NBA.
But I would say that's definitely MVP race material for point guard of the year. Like I said, you have to put King Havoc in there, Irving. Um, even though I honestly measure assists to me as a more of a powerful point guard based on the point guard player that you have. Points are very important, don't get me wrong, but I mean, you've got guys like Fab and Majestic up there with 281, 214 assists, and King Havoc is right there at third. Then it falls to fourth to Irving at 135, but he's a score first type of guy with 380. I don't know. You give
Fab didn't
Irving.
even break 100 though.
Yeah, Fad didn't break 100
Fab
points
didn't
in
even break
11
100.
games at point guard, but he also wasn't playing on somebody like Irving or anything like that. Same with Majestic. I mean, he's playing small forward, so that's not really point guard material. But point guard of the year, I think those guys would definitely have to be in the talk. Mike Man, if he didn't quit, but he's down here as well as the top 4 point guards. I think in it currently with assists leading. Centers, I mean, Garbage Assassin at 218, no autographs at 177, rebounds, Hot Shot at 189. What are some other guys that you see that could be pulling down a look at Texas James with 9 games played at center at 152 rebounds, 125 points, 38 assists. Well, you think you might win a All-Star at least, maybe?
I think I might get an All-Star. I mean, I might sneak in there and grab one. I might get one.
Sneaking over there. Gosh, who else would you say by looking at this is definitely of the year worthy or all-star worthy, I guess, at least?
It's tough, man. With the split divisions, it's hard to really. I don't know. Exclusive. Where's exclusive at? Why ain't he up here in points? I know he's been playing well, right?
Yeah, well, he had played a couple games with Irving, and then
He kind
Okay.
of
I dropped off.
Okay.
Like, ball
You got
score a little
Rush
bit
up
more.
there. Too cool. Too cool. Will play very well this season. I think he could at the 4. It's hard to get a lot of guys with good rebounds at the 4, so he might very well take a top All-Star at the 4 spot.
Frito Wavy's up there.
Mike Man might have
leaving
if he
those
didn't
little
quit.
games. Chairs. Return of the King, there he is. He's
Yeah.
got 293 points up there at small forward. Definitely
Yeah, there you go.
Kobe
top.
playing the other LeBron.
Yep.
Probably did all
Yeah.
right. He averaged
Yeah.
more rebounds and assists than King, but
This is the guy that might make me want to make an exception to the gameplay thing, and that's one Wild Walnut, man. He has killed it since he has taken over with 342 points. His games played at a position is hella low, man, and that's
only has
we'll
9
sit down and
games
staff and
played
decide.
overall, too.
Yeah, I know. With 342 points, that is insane. That is absolutely insane. He is 5 points behind Havoc, with what is that? 4 games less. That is
Yeah, but can you
fucking
give
nuts.
somebody a 5 game as a center? I don't know. I don't know if you can.
I know. It's rough, man.
It's 5 games.
It's
I
rough.
agree. If he would have played the whole, and I said this to A.O.
I
Martin
know.
at
Yeah, we
party
talked about it
at the
early.
beginning of the season. I said if you move him one wild walnut to the 5, he's gonna do work. He's gonna just do work. That leaves open the 4. Dimes is able to shoot because one wild walnut doesn't shoot. He's just not a shooter. He's a big guy. He's an inside guy, and that's not a knock on him. He's a damn good one. I would easily, if he would have stayed there all season, he would have been arguably MVP-ish, or arguably, with the games he's been having, MVP, definitely center of the year. I mean, you could throw all of those up, but unfortunately, with only 5 games played, and he was saying this MVP, and I'm like,
I know,
dude, you
man.
got 5 games at center. You can't compare 5 games based on the 11, even though it's there.
It comes back to
Maybe an
we had
all-star.
a guy, I'm not even gonna say his name, a few seasons ago that played on Kevin Durant, um, and he had fucking tremendous numbers, but he moved so much that we couldn't give him anything for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is it kind of sucks because they do it for the squad. They'll move for the squad, which is great to see a player do that.
Mhm.
But then at the same time, it's like how can you can't like say what if he was playing LeBron James for 4 games and then move to Tristan Thompson for the next 5 and has a massive amounts of points? It wouldn't be fair to the rest of the centers.
Yep, I agree. And you definitely have some good solid players in there.
Like, what are some good shooting guards? Like, I'm looking around
The
here.
shooting
Like,
guards is always weak
other than
every
G.
year. Shooting guards are
Man,
struggling.
I want to take a second. I want to see where my
the only
boy.
one I can see is G.
Another power forward that might get some love, man, is Eric from my squad, man. Eric Dredd had 228 points at the 4. That's good, man. I mean, that's solid at the 4 spot. Not a lot of good 4s out there.
Yeah, shooting guards. You got Eurostep. He's up there.
Yep.
Quan Boy. He's got 6 games. If he had a few more games, maybe he would be arguably up there. 13 Hayden Land. I mean, did Hayden Land quit? Is he still in the league? He's still in the league, isn't he?
Yeah, he played all year.
Yeah, so
He's
I mean,
still
you got
on the
13
Blazers.
shooting. Yeah, I thought he was for
And
the Blazers. Yeah, he's arguably up there in shooting guard. At least I think secures an all-star with how weak we are at the shooting guard.
G Money's got that shooting guard of the year.
I agree with you on that one. He's by far one of the better shooting guards, based on which he should be. I mean, he's playing Harden. It's got to be arguably the best shooting guard in the game. But I think even 2K is weak on shooting guards. There's just you got Crash up there. He's shooting guard. He had 9 games. I think he's had a solid season. Maybe all-star worthy. But yeah, shooting guards are definitely. Jersey Ellis with 7 games. They're just they're arguably up there. Maybe there needs to be an award, or we use that 6 Man of the Year award for that guy that just has good stats, but he doesn't play.
That's a great idea, man. That is a great. I'm gonna bring that up.
Because that, yeah.
Because that 6 Man of the Year it's that kind of fits that perfectly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he moved around. He did everything he needed to do in order to help his team win. And usually the 6 Man award is coming off the bench doing whatever you got to do to help your team win. So
exactly.
I played
That's
like
perfect, man.
3 games at shooting guard, 2 games at small forward, 4 games at power forward. I mean, I was everywhere this season, even though my stats aren't even comparable to any of these better players than I am. But I know it would struggle in the past to get an award because I'm one of those guys that'll move and do anything in order to help whatever helps my team win. So there needs to be something out there for those guys because they're the backbone of the league. I believe that without them, without everybody wanting to play a superstar, like majority of these people that want to play or only want to play a shooting star, without those guys that are willing to move around to help the team out, I think we would definitely struggle as a league. So there needs to be something out there for them. But looking through, I mean, 100 points, dog-ass Mello, from him above there. Everybody with 100 points. Cuban on Xbox even have 100 points. How shitty do I feel? With only he's got 10 games played. So definitely looking around at those guys. Anybody else you can think of real quick before we move on to the? It's so hard to do until we actually sit down and look through, go through each individual. Any other season 7 award nominees?
Player of the year is probably gonna be
I think Man of the Year, man. I think Young Shot, man. Dikembe Mutombo Man of the Year, or whatever that.
I'd agree with that. I would definitely agree with that. He's done some.
I think Young Shot, man. I mean, he's done great things for us this season, man. With this week in and week out, he keeps the forums fresh. He keeps getting people to come in, sign into the league to look at the forums and see that shit. And I appreciate that, man. That's I know that shit ain't easy to do all the editing and shit. So shout out to him, man. He's a front runner in my opinion.
Yeah, I would agree. I think it's a little past due for Young Shot. I think he's helped the league out the last few years. I think it's definitely deservable. Whether you take this year or the previous 3 or 4 years, Mr. Young Shot's been around and helping the league, add them together. I think he definitely deserves the Man of the Year. Arguably.
I know people's been on my neck about that award, but I don't want to just give it to somebody who posts twice in the forums. I just don't want to give that out like it's candy on Halloween. I feel like if people want that award, they have to deserve it, and I feel like Youngshot has done that this season for sure.
I would agree. I think Youngshot, adding up, like I said, what he's done in the past and what he's doing this season, I agree. Man of the year, rookie of the year. Who rookie this year that stood out? Any rookie stood out this year? Name some rookies that might have stood out. I know
Man.
there's a lot of people on it's Rush Squad that are rookies. There's a few of them over there that I've never seen play before, and I think technically
King
they're rookies
Havoc,
this
did he
season.
play last season?
I think King Havoc's played before. Let me check, but I'm pretty sure he has. Definitely ill prepared asking that question. I'd have to look at his career totals. Why can't I see this career totals?
Does it says seasons played
yeah,
one?
I
Does
do.
that mean he's only played that? Does that mean he's played one before? Or does that mean this is his first year?
It should mean he's played
Yeah,
one
he
before.
had to have played before because his
Yeah.
career averages are less than his season.
Yeah, he's played before. His current season total is 347 points, and he's had 537. So he had 200 points his first season.
Yeah, so he played
So
the season
yeah, he's
before.
played season before.
Okay,
know
yo,
they-
I got one. I got one,
Go
man.
ahead, shoot.
I got one, yo. Quamboy from the Utah Jazz, man. He's up there, man. For one season, I'm assuming he's only played one. Looking at his stats here, this is his first year. From the Jazz, he was traded from the Rockets to the Jazz. He is putting up some good numbers, man, for a
Averaging
rookie.
17 points, 9 assists. It's not
well,
bad. I don't
rookie,
know.
man.
He's on my team,
Look
and
at
I don't know
his-
what position
his-
he plays, but good job,
Right,
Quan
his
boy.
shooting percentage is nice, man. Got some good shooting percentage out there. The dude's looking good, man. I mean,
Yeah, all right. I know
there we
there's
go.
some on
Possible
Portland that I'm
rookie of the
missing
year.
out. I know there's some that I looked at on Portland that
Don't worry, man. We'll get hate mail later for it, man. Don't even trip, bro. It's coming.
I know there's some good ones here. Arguably Kobe the Great. He's playing his position, doing it well. That's positive for stats. Probably isn't where he wants them, but they're still solid. Like I said, I know there's more people here that are solid people. 30 South. He doesn't even have a money on his name. Anyway, I know there's guys I'm missing. No autographs. He played really good this season. He's probably got rookie of the year. If he's never played before.
14.
I thought he played last season. He didn't play last season?
Oh, this is his first season according to the stats.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think everybody knows who he is because he was somebody else.
Oh, no, he was in free agents last season. That's where I saw his name. He didn't play because he signed up late. And yeah, okay. That's what it was. That's where I saw him. I bet.
Yep. So as you're looking
Thought
through
that
these
was
and
familiar,
putting
man.
these together, though, just so you're aware, if they have only free agent games from last season, where they're training camp, that doesn't count as their rookie year. So if their points are only like said, so for instance, you've had 400 points this season, but last season you had 50, that probably means he was training camp. And those have messed up other rookies in the past, but I agree with you. I think no autographs I was looking at his stats earlier, and I think if he's rookie this year, he's probably up there for rookie of the year. So, rookie of the year, sixth man of the year, we just talked about that because there's no more TC. Maybe using it for that player that bounced around and still helped his team win games. We already talked most valuable player. The defensive player, we discussed, those steals. Definitely, you got an arguable hot shot, Fab, those guys that are defensive players you got to look at for defensive player of the year. I don't even know most improved. They have to compare that. Coach of the year, we talked a little bit about that. It's Rush, Uzi actually. Definitely, I think are the top two for owner of the year. I think I said you guys stuck it out for the beginning and also dealt with your own little issues on the thing. So that's it for award nominees. Unless anybody has anything else. You have anything else? Anybody? Shout outs? Anything?
Yeah, that's it, man.
Real quick, commissioner.
I think
corner.
Hotshot gonna win that defensive player of the year though.
Yeah, I was looking at that. That's pretty dirty.
Blocks and steals, 35 blocks, second in steals. For leading blocks, second in steals, there's no reason why he shouldn't get that.
Yeah, and he's gonna have a trophy to go with it when we win it all. Okay,
Mm,
Commissioner
yeah, okay.
Corner. Let's talk a little bit about Commissioner Corner here. Just
Keep
real
dreaming.
Z, do you have anything looking back on the season's over? So we start. I say we, but those of us who are not anything but staff, you are staff. All we're doing is looking forward to next season.
Slash
The rest of us are looking at what we can do differently to make the league better. I mean, looking as an owner this season and being staff in the past, looking at, just the commissioner in here, are there some things you can say, I don't like this about the season, or I really like this about the season for the commissioner corner? What did you think about the free agency, first of all? I want to know.
I think it was not successful. I feel it was so much better when we just had the TC, where you could just blacklist when they weren't active. Instead of this season, we waited till the end of the year, start removing people. It was chaos. We had way more forfeits this year than last year for no reason whatsoever besides the free agency.
What do you think of a half and half, like a training camp / free agency system, to where there is training camp, but there's free agency after that? So when you do blacklist somebody, you can call somebody else up that you can contact and get a hold of and move into a free agency. Or you can send your training camp people down, I'm assuming, and call up free agents. What do you think of something in that matter?
I just think something needs to change. I don't know what the solution is, or if that's the solution, or going back to the regular, how it was last season. I don't know what the solution is. I just feel just not the answer.
Well, I personally think, and I talked a little bit about this the other night, but I personally think the free agency was the right direction. However, it didn't work out how it was planned, and I think it was poor management on how to make it work better. Maybe it is a combination of a training camp free agency thing, but that's how I personally feel, only because I don't want to be in someone's training camp. And as a training camp, it's easy to say when you've guaranteed a team, whether as an owner or whether as a player, some of these guys that are just better are guaranteed to be on a team, while these other guys get to, because you're not well known, or you show up, but the guy above you doesn't show up all the time, but you always having a covering, but you don't get a spot on the team because of it. Those types of things are frustrating, I think, in training camp, and that's why I hated training camp. So I was a full component of free agency. However, I can say I don't think it worked out as well. Kamish, what are your thoughts?
I think this is my theory on this, man. I feel like it's more of a thing that owners don't want to go through with 10 minutes before the game and just start hitting up free agent, and sending all these messages out with 10 minutes to go. I think the TC thing's kind of better because, like with the TC draft, they get to pick the TC that they want, and then if they know it's reliable, or if they know they're there, then they know them, so they'll know they'll be there if they need them. With the free agent thing, I feel like people got really reliant on one or two guys, and it got to the point where if they hit those two guys up and they were busy or they didn't respond, then they take a forfeit because they didn't want to message everybody else. That's how I really felt how it went this year. Because I didn't really know until I was owner. So I took owner this last week, and then I had to do it, and I was like, holy shit, this is a lot of work trying to scrounge up people and all these guys. I don't know, trying to get all these people, trying to just message all these guys with 15 minutes to go. It was rough, and so being on the flip side of it, I see why it's harder this way than it would be if I just had two or three TCs that I knew. I could just be like, hey, I need you, bro. Text them like, hey, yo, I need you, man. Get on right now. Get in this game. I feel like that would make it easier. So I feel like maybe a combination like we talked about the other night would be good. I feel like we might try it. I mean, I hate the TC thing because it's random assignment, and you always get that one guy that gets random assigned to a good team or whatever. And then the other guys bitch about all staff is being biased because they sent this guy that when it's not even the case. And we're trying to take that out. But when owners want to be lazy and I hit up these guys, which it is hard, I understand because I had to do it. It's difficult to do that and get a response in 15 minutes. So. I mean, we'll work something out in the off season to see if we can take this thing to another level and make it better.
Do you think, speaking with the owners next season, or whatever owners you choose, do you think that I think most of them were behind the free agency system this year until they actually had to do it. An idea it was solid. I mean, do you think you'll be taking their input, or at least talking to the ones that are currently owners now, and getting their thoughts on how to make it better or how to
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean,
arrange it?
I talked to some of the owners last season. That I mean, at the beginning of the season, talked to a few owners, make sure hey, what you think, like the big name guys like Mike and Miz and Eastern, which just look how that worked out, and a couple of the guys that were veterans in the league and owners, and see what they thought, and everybody seemed up about it. You know what I mean? Everybody seemed good to go. Everybody seemed like yeah, it's a great idea, man. And I mean, you won't know until you try. So I mean, we had to throw it out there. We had to see how it would work. Unfortunately, it didn't work as good as we want. So we might make a tweak, give it another try, make a tweak here, make a tweak there, see how we can improve it, and then go from there.
Are you looking at anything else you felt was kind of a failure, or anything else you want to change going into the next season thus far? I know it's still stuff you're looking into, but anything at this point?
Possibly the game times. I feel like maybe we should go back to have a 9 o'clock game. I mean, we voted on this, so it wasn't just staff. I mean, it was a majority vote for heavy 11s. Well, you should have voted.
Just got in. No. I didn't get it.
I'll tell you, man.
What? You didn't get a vote?
All it takes is 2 clicks, man. All it takes is 2 clicks, man.
Got me late. You said the vote was done by the time I got in there. What do you mean 2 clicks?
When? How?
Yes, I was added late, so that decision was already made before I got in there.
You were
me 2 clicks.
Well, that's right. That's right, because you had to you took over when somebody backed out or whatever. That's right. Okay, you're right. My fault. You're right. But anyway, it's still only 2 clicks, regardless if you got a chance to do it or not. But so we did a vote, and the vote went in heavy 11s, which I feel like now if it kind of hurt because we had a lot of people bitching about the 11ness. So we'll see. I'll bring up another vote next season to see what the owners think. Probably do a site-wide vote this time. That way we can get a main gist of where our community stands as of where everybody wants to go. And we'll do that, man. And that was a mistake we didn't do this time. But you live, you learn, man. We're doing our best, and I'll definitely make sure to get the community involved in that next time.
Z, actually looking at throughout the season, is there anything that you would say from an owner's point of view, or even from a player's point of view, that's got to change for next season in order to continue, or that you feel needs to change?
As far as, I mean, they put in a rule, the forfeit rules this season. It's like, I think it's 13 you remove. Am I correct on it? Don't quote me on it.
What's that? The forfeit rule was 13 you remove.
They get 13 forfeits, they get blacklisted, or and it's like 11 they lose their EC. I think that needs to be dropped because they can basically not show the whole week for a 4-week season. If we had like a 6-week season, I'd make sense. But for a 4-week season, they can miss a week and a half and not get punished, essentially.
14, you said?
Oh, it's 13 is what it is in the rule book.
13?
13's a 3-season ban.
That's like 40%.
A ban, yes. And then the first one is just EC and awards.
So if you forfeit 40% of your games,
I feel that needs to be.
I think it's 8. I think it's 8. I think if you miss 8, then you forfeit your awards, you forfeit your stats or whatever, and then
it's 11 and 13. I looked at it.
Is it 11 and 13? Okay, I have to go look. But yeah. Okay, so it's 11 and then 13.
I was just curious.
I mean, it's the first time we had this rule, but that's a good point that you brought up. We'll have to fluctuate that on the base of the length of the season. That's something we'll definitely bring up in the off season.
At 13 games, that's like 40%. That's 40% of your games you can forfeit. That seems a little high.
It was the right idea, just need to.
It is high,
yeah.
But I mean, you're talking about a 3-season ban. I mean, we're not talking about no light punishment, no. So that's something there. And we actually had guys hit that number this year.
Wow,
so,
that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I can say my thoughts on the season at this point, just for the regular season. I thought it was great all the way up until like the end of the third week, going into the fourth.
End of the third week.
Going into and then shit just fell apart. And I was like, why are we forfeiting all these games and blah blah blah? Which brings me to the next thing.
Either they feel safe or they're so far out they don't give a fuck. And it happens every year. It was a little extreme this year, but it happens every year. We have one or two owners at the end of the year fucking just don't show. This year it was what, three owners this year that did it.
Four
So
technically, but yeah, with New
who?
York,
Who's the fourth?
New York,
Here's Clippers,
No, that's what I'm
Knicks.
talking about. Knicks, Clippers, and Lakers.
and Jazz.
Oh,
Jazz,
okay,
yeah.
and Jazz 4. Okay, so we had two more than normal, which is a big deal. Which is almost
Yeah,
half the league. So
That's almost
Yeah.
almost half, more percentage than what you 40% of the league did not play their games the last week. That's nuts,
Yes.
because that means whoever they played didn't play either. So I guarantee it's over
Yeah,
half
that
the
last
league
week
didn't play.
we played 5 games.
That's ridiculous. And if me as a player, if
We
I'm
played
as
4.
competitive, if I want to
Yeah.
try to get an award or I'm close in an award race, I would be pissed that I'm forfeiting game. Like, people are forfeiting games at me, not giving me an opportunity to ball out. I would be so mad. I signed up to play, and
that's why we put the
that's
forfeit
frustrating.
rule in.
Yeah.
That's why we put the forfeit rule in, and like everything, when you bring it in once, it needs to be tweaked.
Mhm.
So it's something that we'll adjust moving on and make it better.
Anything else you want to say on the Commissioner's Corner before we move on?
Pretty sure that's
Alright.
good, man. I mean,
Looking through, which brings me to the next thing. Why did we forfeit so many games? I got this question a lot. Somebody would hop into my party and say, "Hey, Ice, what's going on with the EBA? Or did they close down? Did they shut?" No, motherfucker. We didn't shut down. We didn't quit. We're still EBA. We're still here. Elite team play. The problem is you have people that run into adversity and they quit. So I want to say bye, Felicia, to Eastern. Bye, Felicia. Bye, bitch. Mike Man, bye. Montana
Felicia.
FDU, bye. Oh, Lewis, bye. Tasmania, I'm
Toodles.
robbing the bank. Dumbia for MVP. The Real
Peace.
Uncle Drew. BSB Kinky. All you
Catch you
bitches,
on the flip side.
all you guys quit. Not counting the ones that didn't get blacklisted that should have. If you're an owner
Catch me outside. How about
that
that?
didn't have people show up, you should be blacklisting people. Bottom line. If you can't sign up for a 4-week commitment, I feel sorry for you in the rest of your life if you run into any adversity and can't stick it out. It's not too much to set aside 4 games a week. Yes, a lot of shit's going on, I understand. However, you are in a league. You signed up to this fucking league. Play out throughout the season. Extremely frustrated on how
2 nights
it
a
went
week.
down this last week.
All you gotta give up 2 nights.
I mean, technically you can give up 1 night, play 3 games, and have somebody, fill in for you that last game if you need to. If you're busy, that fucking busy. This week it was only 3 nights, so it kind of threw off with Easter last minute. So I'm giving a little leeway for some of those other teams that just forfeited 1 or 2. But if you forfeited all 8 games, something wrong. So I hope, and that's coming from a person on a team. I was extremely frustrated this week that we forfeited every single game. I don't know who's with me, I don't know who's against me, and I honestly don't give a shit. The fact that we forfeited every game this week is unacceptable. You can't even get in 3 or 4 games. I was there. I was on every single night. Every night waiting. So
I don't believe you.
I was right there with the people that put in as IR. Oh, and the other owner that didn't show up. I was right there online as well, watching those guys play other games, probably in other leagues, because they don't give a shit enough about EBA, and that's fine. And I'm looking at it like this, and I discussed this with these guys, and I even discussed this as an owner of the site. I've discussed this with the VPLO. If we've got to go to 8 teams next year, I don't give a shit. I don't want the same situation to happen this year where we're forfeiting games, an entire 4 teams. 40% of the league backing out at the end of the week. I don't care. I mean, those guys run it, and I put them empowered to run it. But like I said, as an owner of this league, bye, Felicia. Let these fuckers run away. Let them quit because they can't come to somebody and discuss something like a man. Now, if they did and they felt like they were mistreated, there's a step ladder to the system. I will listen to anybody and fight for them if that's the case as owner of this league, as long as they went through the proper steps and been turned down along the way. So if any of these guys were mistreated and felt like they were mistreated, and that's why they walked away, instead they ran into something that was partially their fault and walked away, or completely their fault and walked away, or felt like they couldn't handle something and walked away, which hurt this season. Eastern, Shump, O. Lewis, all 3 owners that quit. There was more owners, I believe, than that quit. So with that being said, I'm done with that. But that's sad that we have to be in the situation that we're in for the EBA. Anything you want to say before we head out? I appreciate you spending your time with me tonight, Z. Actually, I appreciate you being on. Congratulations on your #1 seed. Congratulations on your rookie year. A very successful rookie year for you as owner. I appreciate everything you've done for us. I don't think I've talked with you very much, but I appreciate everything you've done for us on as staff in the past. I appreciate those guys, but I really appreciate you stepping up, running a team, running a successful team, and finishing out the season at that #1 spot. And good luck to you in the playoffs. Even though I want to face you and beat you, I still wish you good luck. Anything you want to say?
Yep. Good luck to you. Shout out to my team for carrying me. I am the trash of the team, so let's get it.
Let's get. Hey, you carry that. That's the way you do it as owner. You own a team and you pick the right players and put them in the right spot, and you don't have to really work that hard. You sit in a corner and take shots every once in a while. Let them carry you to the finals. So good luck to you, and I hope you don't make the finals because I hope we're facing you and we beat you. But however, I wish you to still like the same good luck. To the other side of the fence, to always my one and only, my commish, my Texas James Smith. Thank you for your time and effort tonight. I know it sounded I went a little gayish on there, and I apologize, but I really appreciate everything you do for the league. I appreciate you stepping up. And I know it's been a very trying season this season with a lot of frustrations going on behind in the back end of staff and owners. And we went from a not owners quitting season to an owners quitting, and it made it seem like it's a lot worse than what it actually was because last season was so good. And we're running into that third and fourth season of this 2K, which is always rough and difficult to pull off. I'll still be here next season and look forward to playing EBA. However you handle the off season, however you handle the rest, I do appreciate you. But thank you very much, and good luck to you in the playoffs. I mean, I have you. Don't make me look like the ass here and picking your motivation, pushing through past the Rockets. If you lose to the Rockets, I don't know what I'm gonna do with you, man.
Dang, don't put that pressure on me, cuz. But you ain't gotta worry though. You ain't gotta worry though. We got that, man. We got that on lock, man. They can't hold us, man.
They make Ice Man look like an ass again. I was already an ass for picking Trailblazers as low as I did, and then they end up making me look stupid. Now you don't do that to me twice this year.
Hey, no pun intended, but I'm giving the Thunder a jolt.
Like I said, congratulations to you and for making the playoffs. I got sidetracked there. And all done. GG. All done. GG.
Alright. It's been a shocking experience.
Shocking experience. Did it shake your world? Is that why you kept him around? It shook up your world.
Cavalier.
The Thunder's rumbling my world, bro. Right?
Shook my world. Thank you from the EBA team tonight and EBA Tonight.
You had to go there.
Take care. Have a good night. See now we can play our music to get out of here. The creepy rest in peace music.
You know what? You know what I thought? You know what I think it was? You just talked about. Sorry, I went on Gaines for a moment. You had to hide your Gaines by hitting me with the shook my world.
Shook your world.
I saw what you did there. I thought we was past that as a host and co-host.
It's hard.
I thought we was above.
It's hard to get over that, man.
Come on, man.
I try so hard to get over that. It's just hard to get over that comment.
Fuck. I can't live that shit down.
Never live that shit down.
Never, man. I want to fucking most likely to give your teammates a hand job award, man. Fuck it.
We didn't do awards after that.
I know. That was it. It's a wrap. Like, nobody gave a shit about any award after this. Every time it comes up, that's all they gonna remember. Oh, remember that one season when James won the most likely to give his teammate a hand job award? Yeah, that was funny. Who won this year? I don't fucking know.
I don't know. We quit. We retired that award after he won it.
It's a struggle. It's a struggle. It's a rough one out here. Not out here. Man. Never gonna live that down, whatever.
Never.
And the Pelicans gonna be rough, man.
Yeah, they're gonna be definitely Bye.
Everything good.